I have another rant, and I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't know quite how to go about it, so I'm just gonna start in one place and see where it ends up. Um, so, I used to think that human beings as creators was like inherently a good thing, um, and I don't necessarily think that it's a negative consequence, but I don't think it's something that should be taken lightly, right? Um, because a creator has to be inspired, or at least it feels that way. And I wonder if that's true. But um, it's the kind of thing where, at least as in our place as humanity, we only know what we know. You know what I mean? And so we're limited to kind of push the ocean waves, as it were, or be swallowed by them. And I guess what it boils down to, what I'm talking about, is like I've thought about how a soul functions, and to some degree, it's a projector. On the other hand, it's a camera. Um, at least in the way that we experience it, right? So it's like as a projector for other cameras, how do you make sure that you're being responsible with what you're projecting, right? And the only thing I can imagine is that things like art, music, um, the products that we buy, as consumers, we can feel that in some way, like we're they're trying to take advantage of us in some aspects, and then in other aspects, they're being fair about it. There is no like for the benefit of the crowd in most places. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule, but it's like you can feel the necessity of manipulation when it comes to consumerism. Now, is that a bad thing? I'm not entirely sure, as long as we take responsibility for our actions and find a way to work with the rest of society. Like, if somebody makes a product that people want to buy, it's a good thing. But when it comes down to what money really is, the currency of it, it's like a created aspect by humans to signify that you owe something. You owe value, right? The paper literally is just an IOU credit. Sure, it's backed by like gold. I don't know if that's entirely accurate anymore, but it's the same thing at the end of the day. Any sort of technology we use, there's a there's an obvious potential for it to be the benefit of all, but that takes many, many resources and it takes many, many people. And you can't just expect large corporations and large governments to have the best in mind for like every person at their in their hearts, right? Because everyone's just trying to go home at the end of the day. They're trying to have their own life. And there's the aspect of like human nature is inherently violent. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that the human nature that is violent is primal, and it comes down to like your ego bubble and your survival. But that really has nothing to do with like the larger society, right? So when it comes down to large corporations and large governments trying to figure out like how to function, a lot of times they're stepping on people's toes. Again, that's not necessarily a horrible thing if it's done responsibly, but if people don't think about the goddamn actions of their own feet, their own story within the larger construct, there's no chance it works, right? So, I'm pretty sure that's my rant. I just wanted to get that out there because I have been kind of thinking about things that lead up to that. So hopefully this helps somebody understand their own thoughts on the matter. Yeah. Bye now.